In his second season, trying to reestablish Boise State as the preeminent group of five program. They get it done with a 10th victory on the season in the Frisco Bowl tonight. Boise State holds off North Texas 35-32. We got Steve Helwick on the line from Hustle Belt and Underdog Dynasty on SB Nation. Steve, good to see you. Kind of a pedestrian 10-6 halftime score with North Texas in the lead, and then Boise State exploded for 22 points in the third quarter.
Yes, that's the most points Boise State's ever scored in a quarter in a bowl game, and they've had some pretty good bowl games in the past. But this was a tale of two halves. It was a really mundane start for both teams on the offensive side of the ball. There was one really explosive play in the first half, and that was a 53-yard pass for North Texas to set up a touchdown. That was the only touchdown we saw in the first half. Then in the third quarter, there's 5 full possessions. We see 5 touchdowns get traded, and then Boise State gains an upper hand in the fourth quarter after capitalizing off an interception, which stops the trading of touchdowns. So it was definitely a tale of two halves with the explosive, offensive-oriented third quarter after the slow start for both teams. But Boise State came out and got the win. Coach Andy Avalos gets his first bowl win and first 10-win season for a Boise State program that's known to get 10-win seasons quite often. It's the 18th time they've done it in the last 25 years. So that winning tradition is back at Boise State tonight with their first bowl win since the 2017 Las Vegas Bowl.
Your thoughts about the Broncos offense, mighty balance with, of course, Talon Green, both offensive, both on the ground and in the air, over 100 yards each, 3 total touchdowns. Ashton Jeanty had a big day as well.
Yes, I had a lot of concerns about the Boise State offense after week 4 of the season when they lost 27-10 to UTEP. And their quarterback, Hank Bachmeier, enters a transfer portal. They fire their offensive coordinator. And you're thinking that Boise State could be bound for its first losing season since 1998 or 1997. And things looked dire, but their offense ended up taking the other turn when those things happened. Dirk Cutter, former NFL head coach of the Buccaneers, took over the offensive play calling duties, and Talon Green took over the quarterback duties. He's a 6'6" freshman who has impressive mobility. And that mobility was shown on display tonight when he had over 100 rushing yards. Boise State really didn't need to pass much because they had such a dynamic running game with Ashton Jeanty and with Talon Green, the quarterback, running the show. Both guys got over 100 yards, and Boise State set a new Frisco Bowl record for most rushing yards in this game, which has existed since the 2017 season. So Boise State's run-heavy offense really served as a great counter to North Texas, and they got some explosiveness in that third quarter. They were able to score 22 points behind Dirk Cutter and his play calling.
Hey, Steve, in evaluating Boise State against the top teams in the group of 5 and, a certain tier of the Power 5, where would you place them nationally?
Nationally, it's tough to say. They went 8-0 in the Mountain West. This wasn't one of the stronger Mountain West schedules that we have seen in recent years. They lost that Mountain West championship game to Fresno State. Overall, it's tough to say where you would rank Boise State in the final. They did get 10 wins this season. I think I would probably put them out of the 131 teams, maybe in the 40s ranking this year is where I would warrant this 10-4 season. I think they made a lot of progress at the end of the year. This was a team that started 2-2. They had a really ugly loss to an Oregon State team, which turned out to be one of the best Oregon State teams in history. They got a nice 30-3 win over Florida today. So they had that loss early on. They had the UTEP loss, which was certainly questionable. And for the rest of the season, Boise State played pretty good football, just losing 1 to BYU and losing the Mountain West title game to Fresno State. Overall, I think this was a successful season for Boise State. They had a bit of a rough year last year with a difficult schedule under Andy Avalos. But I think that getting that 10th win, getting the bowl win, I think this is putting the program back in a good place. And Boise State fans, this is the product of winning, is the fan base turnout you saw tonight. Denton, Texas is not very far from Frisco, and Boise State fans were able to match them 50-50 in this game. So when you win, the fans show up, and I was really impressed by all the people that came from Boise, Idaho to support their team tonight.
Got Steve Helwick on the line from SB Nation's Hustle Belt and Underdog Dynasty. Steve's going to be filing his coverage of this game here in a few minutes after he gets done with us. So we appreciate Steve jumping on the line here for a few minutes. So check out Steve's work on SB Nation again, Hustle Belt and Underdog Dynasty. interesting coaching situation with North Texas as they conclude a 7-7 season. And we're looking at two teams that lost their respective conference championship games, where Phil Bennett, defensive coordinator, fills in as the interim coach. Seth Luttrell, you don't see too many coaches lead a team to a conference championship game and get let go. And then Eric Morris is going to be their next head coach, coming in from Incarnate Word, Steve.
Yes, Phil Bennett coached tonight's game as interim coach, and he said in the press conference just now how proud he was of how resilient this group was through a definitely tumultuous time with the program and getting a coach fired, having to prepare for a bowl game, having an interim coach and a coach in waiting. So basically they're being coached by three different guys just in a couple weeks span. But no player had entered the transfer portal before the game. They were all locked in and focused on this game. And I think North Texas delivered a valiant effort. They were double-digit underdogs in this game. They came within 3 points. They got some of the stops at the end. They just weren't able to get that last offensive possession to tie it with a field goal. I thought Phil Bennett did a great job rallying these guys tonight. They played incredible defense in the first half, and this third quarter, their offense got going too. So North Texas in the future under Eric Morris, I'll be interesting to see how they do. North Texas has been a very strong rushing attack over the past few years under Seth Luttrell. Their offense has never been the issue. They did have under 100 rankings in both the pass defense and run defense this year. So I think that if North Texas can retain some of their offensive weapons, I know that their quarterback, Austin Aune, will be gone. I think this program is going to be set in the future. And with the rise of the transfer portal, you can get a good quarterback from a lot of places. You just see how many are entering these days. So North Texas enters the AAC next year. They'll be in a new conference, new league with Eric Morris. I think it'll be an interesting start for this program, which has really turned the corner in the last few seasons as bowl appearances have become regular, when back in the mid-2010s, that was more of a rarity for this program.
And the program lines up against the Cal Golden Bears to begin the 2023 season at home, while Boise State's got an interesting game matching up with Washington on the road to start out the 23 season. Steve Helwick, Underdog Dynasty, SB Nation, also Hustle Belt on SB Nation as well. Steve, we appreciate you stopping by, breaking things down for us.
Thank you. Great day of bowl games, and I look forward to maybe appearing on another one of these.
Absolutely. Good to see you, and appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Our guy, Steve Helwick, we thought we would jump on the line with him briefly as the Frisco Bowl is in the books. Boise State wins 35-32, completes a 10-4 campaign. Conference championship game lost to another bowl winner from today. Fresno State defeats Washington State. Pac-12, the first of the Power 5 conferences to play. Get a win, big win. Get a loss, big loss. So Washington State loses by 23 against Fresno State at the LA Bowl. Then at the Vegas Bowl, of course, Oregon State takes out Florida easily, 30-3. Just wanted to jump on here real quick. I'll take any comments or questions before we shut it down. Just wanted to post this instant analysis with Steve because he's live at the ball games. As Steve has quite the travel schedule during bowl season. He gets to about 5 or 6 bowl games to cover those directly in person for SB Nation. So always a good recap with Steve. And so I know that this was not planned, but just wanted to jump on here to get it out there as soon as possible. So we will cover bowl action as well as anyone. Join us for the College Football After Dark show Sunday night at 10:30 Eastern time with the boys. And again, I'll be here to break down as much as possible. We posted a video earlier today, and as most of these bowl games are not necessarily just a conclusion to the 2022 season, but a preview or the launch to 2023, we took a look at Scott Satterfield's program at Cincinnati. And of course, Louisville now with Jeff Brom has 2 different coaches were coaching those 2 programs today as Louisville defeated Cincinnati. So check out that video right here at the Voice of College Football. Great to see everybody on the line. And again, I know that this wasn't planned. Just wanted to pop it on here. And we'll probably take a look at Oregon State's, not just the win against Florida in resounding fashion, but what Jonathan Smith's doing with that program. And that may be a video we post here on Sunday, as well as a whole lot of other content here at the Voice of College Football. We will see you on Sunday.